Hi guys, Taylor from Tay Time here, finally recapping the Big Bang Theory series finale, which was in two parts, the Change Constant and the Stockholm Syndrome. I want to say that I am so effing happy it is in like all these top 10, top 20 series finales lists because it deserves it. I was bawling my eyes out for this and Young Sheldon. If you watched my one take, you would know that the day after these episodes aired, I was in the emergency room. So this is why this is a little delayed. Plus, I don't think I would have been able to handle it. I'd like to say, Mayim looks great with short hair. The costume designers, those ladies' dresses were phenomenal. That's what I'm going to start with. But the first episode was, we did get our last appearance of Kripke. We got our last appearance of Bert. In Young Sheldon, we got our final voiceover appearance of Beverly and Mrs. Wolowitz by using both archive footage from the late Carolyn Sussy and from Pamela Adlon. We finally saw the Wolowitz kids, which is like a thing. And we also got the final appearance of Stewart. So the episode starts. They win the Nobel. And then Sheldon is not used to the pressure and Amy doesn't like her looks, so Raj gives her a makeover, which I can understand a little people being pissed off about that, but at the same time, A, I just love the haircut on Mayim. I think it looks great. And B, you kind of do have to present yourself a bit more. It's kind of like when you get nominated for an Oscar or a Tony, or you win like the Pulitzer, or you become, you know, a dignitary, a politician. You've got to dress a little bit more. And we finally see the Wolowitz kids for the first time. They're so cute. Oh my god. The elevator is fixed, and it's Penny that is the discovery, which I loved. And then she takes Sheldon to the Cheesecake Factory because he pissed off Amy. You find out that the reason Leonard always wears hoodies is because of the thermostat, but you also find out that the DNA thing did not move because it would break. And Penny's like, well, you got to accept change, blah, 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 and then it continues on to 2 months later. They finally fix the DNA. You find out Penny is pregnant, which a lot of people were a little pissed about, which I can understand because there are women in this world that don't want kids. That they didn't, and I don't think they meant for the episode to connect to today's world as much as they intended. Plus, there's gonna, and we already know Shamey has kids from Young Sheldon, so it was nice to see that, and it was also nice to see that Raj remained single, even though he went with Sarah Michelle Gellar to the Nobel ceremony. So they're on the plane, and of course Howard and Bernadette are worried about leaving the kids with Stewart, and Sheldon's freaking out because Penny has morning sickness, and Penny ends up telling him she's pregnant, and he reacts really badly, and it causes this whole fight, and then Hallie loses a tooth, and Michael gets, like, a fever or something, so Howard and Bernadette almost leave, and Penny and Leonard almost leave because of Sheldon's selfishness, but then they all decide to stay because it's not fair to Amy, and they also do want to see him win. And him and Amy have this huge argument about, you know, he always has to be right, he never acknowledges anybody. And then it cuts to the Nobel ceremony. The first time I cried was Amy's speech because I know that was Mayim talking and not Amy. And I also have I shouldn't say it like that. I have a really great connection to Amy as a character. Just I see a lot of her in me and a lot of me in her. And she tells girls to pursue science. And then Sheldon goes, I have a 90-minute speech prepared, but I'm not going to do it. And of course, they all cheer. And he goes, and he essentially, you know, he thanks his mom and dad and Mima and George and Missy. But then he goes, I need to ask forgiveness and thank my friends. And he calls them up one by one, and he acknowledges Howard's an astronaut. You know, he calls him by doctor. Penny's last name is Hofstetter. They never wanted to reveal her maiden name. And I'm going to start crying again. Oh, I also love that Amy's wearing the tiara in this, by the way. That Leonard and Penny are his greatest friends, and that he was there when they met, and that their children will be smart and beautiful. And that he couldn't have done it without them and Amy. And then the last scene was them around, I'm crying again, was them around the table eating Chinese to the acoustic version of the theme song, which I found out from an interview that that's what the Bare Naked Ladies originally auditioned with, was the acoustic theme, and then Chuck Lorre was like, wait, you have a band? Good, let me hear the full version. And Penny is actually wearing the shirt that she wore on the pilot, which I thought was really cool that Kaylee let that be known. I also love that the vanity card at the end was the end, but then if you watched which was so nice, so well done, but then if you watched the backstage thing with Kaylee and Johnny, it was the ends, and it was their backsides when they were putting their hands in the cement at their Chinese ceremony, Chinese theater ceremony. Excuse me, I didn't mean to offend anybody there. Chinese theater ceremony. Oh God, it's so, this show just, I'm going to tell you about the prediction envelopes. We were right on a couple things. Both my dad and I said Penny and Leonard would have kids. We knew Shamie was going to have kids. We were very wrong on Raj, but I'm happy to let Raj stay single. My dad was right on we were both right on the Nobel. My dad was semi-right on something about Leonard getting, he wrote that Leonard would get a job somewhere, he would head up something in Nebraska for like physics, and then Penny would follow him. He did get to head up a job in the end, so we were actually kind of shocked by that one. The fact that it ended with them just doing the same thing was beautiful, and we weren't expecting that. To be honest with you, we were not. And it made it for one of the most beautiful finales, and I am going to stop right now because I'm going to cry again when I film my Young Sheldon recap, and I'm going to cry again during my thank yous. So, yeah. Oh my God. I have 2 shows now. I'm no longer recapping. This is like insane. Please like and subscribe, and thanks guys.